The first boat that was available for anything approaching black marlin charter work was this one, Vince Vlasoff's Tropic Seas.
After I came out the Army in '44, I went fishing, and that was in 1944. In 1947, I built this boat, and then I found a lot of people who wanted to go out on a fishing trip, and I used to take some people out on my professional trips, and then in about 1950, that was 3 years after we built this boat, I had a call to go crocodile shooting. So then I knew nothing about that, so this was really the first full-time charter work I'd done in 1950. So it was crocodiles, and then we'd go up the coast. These were generally a 21-day trip, right. And we'd go up the coast quick as we could. We got into the rivers of Princess Charlotte Bay. We'd shoot there, and then of course we've got to come home nearly 200 miles, so then we'd follow the reef down for 200 miles. We'd get the shelter away from the southeast wind, and of course on the way down we trolled our lines, and if the weather was good we'd go outside and look for bigger fish, and at the night time we go up behind the reefs and we caught a few red emperor and a few trout and things like that. So then it became a full-time job just doing charter work.
So you'd be about the first people catching marlin in recreational fishing terms off the Cairns coast here.
From the recreational point of view, before the present game fishing club, there was another game fishing club started, but there wasn't enough infrastructural facilities for these people to probably operate in the way they'd like to. And I took a few of their people out, and we hooked a few marlin for them. Eric Hebron, we had one particular day, we're outside number 2 river, and I said, well, let's do what the Japanese do. Put our bait down 60 fathoms. And we just bailed off 60 fathoms of line and let the bait sink. And before Eric could eat his dinner, away his reel was going. And then we didn't know what he had, you know, a shark or tuna or marlin. We was only hoping to be a marlin. And my word, it was a marlin. It was a beauty. Came up, he didn't even lift his body out the water. But looking back in hindsight, that fish was well over 1,000 pounds. That was the first really big fish hooked here.
When was that?
Oh, that would have been somewhere, I couldn't tell you the precise year now, but it had probably been about 65 or 64.
So that was before George Bransford got things underway here?
Yeah, that was before George stirred things up. And as these charters came to an end, we came back to move into the game fishing, because this was an avenue where I could get the boat to earn its own living. Bob Dyer had been in contact with me quite a lot in discussions of where to fish and what time of the year to fish. So then we put our heads together, and Bob and Dolly and his crew, Jack Farrell and Charlie Chambers, we joined forces, and in October 1968 we'd done the first marlin survey from here to 1.5 mile opening to the north of Lizard Island. And Bob wrote that no man alive has seen more marlin in such a short time as we did on that one particular expedition. Yes, we had some reasonably good battles, but we didn't have any monsters on. But at the time, as I said before, this boat wasn't fully equipped for that type of operation. We found some pitfalls we had to modify later. And but on the other hand, Bob tagged quite a few fish. I wouldn't know by memory how many he got. We got enough at any rate to establish we had a pretty hot fishing ground to the north of Cairns.